Alright, good morning everyone. This is Mookie with Darth Beaver. Hope you guys enjoy our new intro video. So today we're gonna go ahead and go over a couple things. We're definitely gonna go ahead and kind of review the blog post as we do on every Sunday here. It's a real short blog post, so it's not much in detail. So part of the show we're also gonna go into is recap our celebration incantation, pocket dimensions. Today's feature, I'm going to go in and talk about the farming that I do every day. So I haven't done anything yet, so we'll kind of go live as far as what I do as soon as I jump in the next morning and just kind of talk about the farming techniques. And also what we're going to talk about is the DD5, which kind of leads into that a little bit, as well as the blog posts, because there's some currency being released to the community. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy the show. And with that being said, let's introduce Darth. How are you doing, Darth?
Yeah, I'm doing very good. Thanks, Mookie. How are we doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm just, as I was telling you, I'm trying to slap myself waking up a little bit here from late night drinking with my buddies. So we got Fiesta going on in San Antonio, Texas. So it's a big deal. And that lasts about a whole, for sure, it's a whole week of partying with different events. There's some events for the little ones, obviously events for the adults. So, yeah, got some stuff going on after we get off here, so I'm gonna continue with the Fiesta theme. But yeah, let's talk about the first. Let's talk about the celebration incantation. So let me bring up the game here, and I guess we'll do this big view here. I guess the question I have for you right off the bat: where are you at in the milestones?
39?
Yay! All
Right there. We're
right.
at the exact same spot. So it looks like you caught up spinning your currency.
Hell yeah. Okay, that makes me feel good and warm because I was worried I'm going to be slipping too far behind. I mean, I wasn't worried about it too much in regards to I knew I had money to spend on the store, but I was just kind of curious about like how far, because I'm not blitzing that aggressively. I mean, about how many blitz rotations do you think you're doing a day?
5 or 6, maybe.
Yeah.
And they're no look rotations, so it's not like I care.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, same here. I really don't care. And what's interesting about the blitzing, I mean, that obviously is going to help you with the currency that we use over here onto the store. So I'm going to segue right into my farming since we're looking at it. So I guess I'll ask you first. I mean, are you spending anything? What are you spending on the store again for this?
So I'm looking for, in that row, I'm looking for some tech and some skill parts if they're ones I'm super short on. But mostly I'm picking up superior basic catalysts and gear 14 mystic gear.
Okay.
Yep. So those little celestial lattices, I would pick those up if it was me. But I think I have 8. So that's a little different than 177.
Okay. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on this one right here. So, and then obviously on this right here, I'll talk about my farming. But so on this particular event, what I'm doing primarily, just kind of, it's all about getting this second row. I mean, I'm collecting up on everything. For sure, I'm going aggressive now on this mutant one because I want to get Omega Red. I have them ready, but I noticed when we talk about DD5 and our roster here in a bit, but to highlight a little bit, behind the scenes sneaking, Omega Red, Jubilee are like I mean, there's a lot of options on mutant legendaries, which is kind of crazy. So when I kind of started noticing that, I was like, I got to pick up on these pieces because there's also Phoenix. There's also another option there. So that's what I'm starting to farm is the mutant teal. This one here is very heavy because also with DD5 aspect is going to be with the skill Avengers. So again, we'll talk about these two characters in a bit. So I'm getting that one. And then over here with the bio, it's kind of like on the fringe, but because it's free in my eyes within the event, I'm going to go ahead and just continue to collect that. So almost every refresh on the store, I'm just collecting everything on that second row. It's kind of where I'm going my farming there. So here's the day-to-day. So as I log into it, I'm going to go ahead and I jump and I always start right into the campaigns. Part of the daily objectives is always making sure you clear at least 3 of the heroes and the villains. I can't remember last night if I already did it. Sometimes if I'm up late enough, I kind of get a head start. So let's see. Yeah, so this is what I farm every day on the heroes. I'm actually farming based off of shards. So I'm going over this section for this guy for Bruiser because I'm trying to get him to 300. So what I do is part of my daily objectives. I need to jump into the heroes campaign, So I jump over to this guy, and then I just kind of auto it for the 3, and then I'm done with my daily objective. So I get away from him. Then I jump over to the villain side. Now over here, I already have all the character shards. My first aspect is thinking like, which character is it that I want to go ahead and start working on? But all of the characters I already know, they're all already at 300. So I start then looking at gears. Initially, I was trying to go after some of these mystics, and I already kind of went high on that. But then I noticed this one right here is what I'm getting a deficit on. It's actually on this purple one, because there's so many of those new mystic characters that are coming through that we've been farming. So that's been low. So now I jump over there, and that's where I get my auto 3, as you see. See, 3 already been spent. So I did that last night. And then we move on to the big one. This one right here, I jump into the Doom section. And this is where I kind of just use up the rest of my energy. So I jump over here. I don't do any shards. There's no till on this particular node. So I jump right here where I'm going to see the till, and it's the health one. That's kind of a big one that you, from the catalyst side, that you kind of have a deficit at some point when you start up, getting your characters geared up to G16. So what I do is I do all in pairs. I just have a tendency of hitting 30-30 versus hitting the full auto. So I do this down to 1. I just leave 1 there. That's just the way I do it. And then I jump into the next one. Same thing. So this is where I start kind of going through the cores. Now what's cool is that we're in the event. We're getting the cauldrons, right? And just do that. So you kind of got the gist, but the gist of it is that I'm going after all the till gear. I noticed that this one here starts getting a pretty big surplus, and it's the expensive one when you start wasting your 20. So I actually have scaled back on that. Do you still farm on this one, Darth?
I do it for the little mystic bag there, that gold mystic, whatever it's called. There's another piece of gear on it, that one right there.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I'm running a little short on that one as well.
Okay, that makes sense. So then, yeah, and all this whole, on this level 4 Doom campaign area, this is just all going to be your catalyst pieces for the till gear. Now, what I've noticed, so I've been getting a pretty good surplus off of that, so I kind of scaled away from being too aggressive. So what I'm currently doing is I'm actually looking at all these nodes for these little uniques. And these are the ones that you're talking about, right? I think off the show, were you talking about, was there some type of offer for uniques, or?
So if you go to a character or whatever and you're actually searching it out, there's core offers for the gear 14s and the gear 15s, the mini uniques like that.
Okay. So let's see the one that you're looking for, because what I do is whenever I see that little unique, I click on it just to kind of see. I want to make sure that I have it over 300. Then I feel safe. And this is just my, I don't know, OCD, I guess, and my farming stuff. So I know I'm good on the catalyst, but this one
There you
over
go.
here, yeah, that's the one I start hitting right there. So I do go over here, and then I hit, refresh all the way through to my 50 cores. And it just sucks. Like, how it's just 1 if you land on it. I only have 1 keys. Now, on the blog post, because we're on the topic right now, and is this the currency that they're talking about they may get like 2 quantities more of, or did you kind of read into the blog post yet?
They're gonna double the node. So instead of only being available on 1 node, they're gonna make it available on 2.
Okay. Alrighty. I was hoping that they would like add more currency, you know what I mean? Like at least 2 or 3.
They're gonna add quantities in the war store orbs and stuff like that too. So they're gonna double the quantities you get from your elite war orb 1 and 2.
Okay. Yeah, so this whole Doom, the first section over here, this is really where you're kind of getting these little the uniques. So that's actually where I go back on. So my focus now, since I'm okay on the till catalyst, I'm jumping back on these gold mini uniques. So I'm just farming on here and hit the refresh, get it down to 3. I kind of do it in 30, 60, 90 increments there. What's the next one? There's nothing there. Number 2 has a couple, I believe. So I'll keep looking, and I'm good on the mutant stuff. This one, syringe, am I right? Just a little hammer. I'm kind of on the low side of the 300s, and then I just do 30, 60. This is very OCD, but this is what I do. Then I jump to the next one. This one right here, I used to be low on. I think I got some gear during Pocket Dimensions. So how was your rewards on Pocket Dimensions, Darth?
Our rewards were pretty good on Pocket Dimensions, but I do believe on every single Pocket Dimension I've gotten the exact same piece of Gear 16 or Gear 15 Mystic armor gear. So I wind up having a surplus of some. But Pocket Dimension treated me pretty good. It got one or two more characters up there. It's not the world's biggest increase in teal gear, but it is enough to definitely make some progress. How did you fare, Mookie?
I fared pretty good. It was funny because, when we ran that first Pocket Dimension and we got those first time rewards off of that event, it just kind of, you just saw the different characters that got highlighted and you're able to start getting into it. And for me personally, I didn't feel that same way. Like I had like new characters to kind of come in with. But I guess it's because or like for me, I just kind of jumped into the city section of into DD5. So I guess I was already like real low on the deficit. So if anything, it just kind of raised it up a little bit for me. But let's jump into Pocket Dimensions. Because I hope you're still on here, man. Because I definitely want to go ahead and highlight what I saw and what you shared with
On
us.
here.
But yeah, let's take a look. So over here on the first time, I believe, what number are you at?
In the
85?
80, somewhere a
Man,
couple more down. There I am.
there you are, man. So congrats. Big
Yeah.
props. That makes me warm and fuzzy when I see you up on
It just
here. The only
it
thing I
just
don't
means that
like
I
is
was one of those
early birds.
nerds that went on super super fast and got it done super quick. That's all it means is I was available at 5 to get it done.
Yeah, no. But um before I don't this is the one thing I'm salty about. Man, I don't even see our name right here. Does it show it up on yours? Does it say damage?
No, because we're colored or whatever, it's gonna show that color coding first.
Oh, because our name is highlighted with the color. I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, so there you are, man. 83, you're up there with the big boys. Saw some names that we're familiar with, but
Like I said, unfortunately, with that leaderboard, it just means that other people were busier at 5 o'clock than me.
so what? Let's go back onto it real quick because I know some people are still kind of skimming in last second, still trying to get into the completion of those two runs. So which do you went in with that five that we talked about last Sunday, or did
Yeah.
you change it?
I went in with the 5 I talked about,
Okay, and I
and I
copied
could have
that.
probably autoed the whole thing.
Damn. Did you have any struggles on the last boss node?
No,
Dang. Oh, that's impressive, man. That's the only one that gave me a hiccup. So you did have a good lineup, if I remember correctly, because I piggybacked off of you. I might have done something different, but what I went in for sure was with I went Ghost Rider, Morbius, Scarlet Witch, uh, Heartless. Those were my four, and that's your four, right?
and then I took Night Nurse in with mine.
Okay, and that's where I differ. I actually went in with Black Bolt.
Mm.
For me, I figured that, like, you know what? These guys kind of heal themselves up. I didn't feel like I needed a night nurse. Now, for that boss node, I realized, you know what? Nice night nurse would have been a key character to bring in there. Because there's at one point that I did lose each run. I had to two tap it. But it was because I had so many like different like bleeds or some type of like I just remember seeing red all across on my team, and that's where Night Nurse would have came in and been able to flip that and helped me. But I
Yeah,
just came in with the second new set of five and then completed it. But okay, so that was that, and let's see. Um, so we got celebration incantation going on. We're both at the milestone 39. So you saw the farming aspect. So that's what I do. The second part of the farming here, of course, is going to be in regards to ISOs. So, and what's cool about this event is like you get double cauldron currencies off of these ISOs. But this is what I do. If I'm not farming for a specific trait, like I'm not looking for the blaster or controller, I actually do this every single day. I go on the ion nodes. And the reason being is because look at like they have four traits compared to if you go to this one, you're limited to two. Yeah, so I always, if I'm not gearing in particular, if I have, don't have to go out there a brawler or something, this is what I do. So I go over here, and as I probably already worked on this last night too. So another thing I do is another tidbit is I don't want to sleep on energy, so I'll waste up my energy before I go to bed. So I wake up kind of refreshed. So I must have been wasting that already. And then let's double check over here. Yeah, so I haven't done these yet. So I always start off with 3. Here's my OCD. I do 3 across. And then now this is when I start using up the cores, just the 50 cores. And
Now's the best time to do it because you're getting double cauldrons.
yeah, there it is. I know some people, which I probably should do, so they'll just kind of hit this so they don't accidentally hit 100.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Okay. So now I got all my cores all lined up, so now I can just spend the energy. And this is what I do, man. I mean, I love going over the ions. Now, the one tidbit that I would tell you about that I know, there's one piece that doesn't go group within these 4, and it's actually a support one. I believe it's one of these 2. It's probably this one right here, this controller one. Could be support. One of them, they're not grouped within the ions. So if you ever kind of like when I do, whenever clear up all my ions and I don't refresh it, then I waste the rest of my energy on this particular node right here, this 1-3, because there is going to be a piece that's not part of those groupings. Just little heads up there. But yeah, nothing exciting. I mean, it may be for some, but the reason to kind of conclude off of this whole topic here is mainly because what I did during the week. I mean, I had such a huge surplus of freaking ions, and even on the blue ISO, that I just really started gearing them up this week. I kind of looked over my roster, finally took some time to kind of see, all right, who's at the levels here that I used that I really needed to get my blue ISOs up to like level 3s. Let me see, we're looking at the wrong one. So yeah, I mean, how are you doing, Darth? I mean, on these blue ISOs, I mean, do you have pretty huge surplus going on? Yeah.
How many orbs do you have? If you only have 30 orbs, then I have more orbs hoarded up than you do, technically.
Yeah,
Yeah, you've got. How
tried
many
to
orbs
see
do you
here.
actually? Okay, you got over 100. No, there it is. I was looking at your ions. Sorry.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I've got about 50 orbs in my surplus right now, but that's enough to bring 2 or 3 characters up to blue 3.
yeah. So for me, I
I
probably had about like, I probably had around like 400,000 over here. I don't know what the actual quantity was, but I know I had to go over here because I started opening up these. That way I can collect my ions. And this is kind of a quality of life change that I wish that they can start doing, like the 10 drops over here. Because hitting this one by one sucks, man. And what I learned is that in order to complete a character from like 0 blue, like if you want to get them up to level 3 blue, that you got to get these ions up to 350.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, anyways, I started doing that because with the new characters coming out, like the Dark Hunters, Dark Hold, and stuff. That I'm starting to prep on that, and that's who I'm starting to gear up here. So let's talk about them real quick since we're looking at them. Are you set on the ISOs as far as like I guess Wong for sure is a striker, right?
I mean, I went to blue 3 on all of them, but I'm probably wrong on Scarlet Witch. I have Scarlet Witch as a skirmisher like you do, but I don't know that that's going to be correct.
Yeah, I think
I'm pretty sure. Go ahead.
No, which one are you thinking, Raider?
It might be what the actual answer is, but I'm going to keep it skirmisher for now.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep a skirmisher. I mean, I guess because since he already has a Raider tag off of it, I just think it's gonna be more for just basic. You know what I mean? Yeah, and it's just landing these offensive down, defensive down stuff that I'm gonna stick with it. I think it's fine. I think there's no true go-to ISO for her that's like one over the other. It just kind of depends, and part of that could be like your star levels. Like if you have a higher star level, then maybe you would go Raider, and not be dependent on the skirmisher. So it just kind of depends. Agatha, I think she's gonna be a Raider, from what I can gather in her kit. And then Morgan Le Fay for sure is a striker.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so we got that going on. And we talked about the farming. Now let's the DD5 aspect of things. So tell me, how do you go about your planning of DD5?
Well, we did a video a few months ago when DD5 first came out of who we'd like to bring in. and plans change. We've not been given any real ability to choose exactly who would want to go into DD5. The mini uniques of the teal gear are only available in the store, in events, and in the war store. So you get 3 refreshes a day, so you could see 6 pieces in your store farming every day. You could. And that they don't always show up, and they're not always a piece that you even need or would be looking for somebody to farm. So what I found out with DD5 is I'm taking a lot of different characters I thought I would be because of the RNG aspect of things. Just from a personal perspective, I wanted to take Cloak and Dagger, so I brought Cloak up to 16 first, and then I realized that Dagger was 4 pieces, or 5 pieces technically, with the 5th on the middle left there. And it was just the expense was too great, and Morbius was 3 pieces instead. So I chose to take Morbius. But I mean, it's one of those things. Like I said, I can't tell you to do that, because what if you don't have those his unique?
Mm-hmm.
What the unique piece, like, that's, if you don't have 18 of those, it doesn't matter what other kind of gear you have. We're really bottlenecked really hard. So I have found, though, as a trend, it feels like a lot of the newer characters are a lot cheaper than the older characters as far as getting them to 16.
Yeah. Yep. Well, what I'm doing over here, as you're breaking down your personal take on what's going on, is I was trying to find, like you said, we did talk about it a couple of weeks ago, or about the whole planning of it. And trying to find, I always go back to that Bacon spreadsheet and Rondavis one. Do you use that at all when you're kind of going about your planning?
No,
Nope. You just
because
kind of,
there's no way to plan. Like,
yeah,
the thing about it is, it's like, it's nice to know how much you need, so you can farm. Like, during the event, you can key farm pieces,
yeah.
but like, most of your teal gear is coming from teal gear orbs. That's all 100% RNG randomized.
Yeah. You just hit it. I mean, so like trying to plan for it is just kind of wishful thinking versus what you actually get from the RNG gods, right? So,
Yes.
yeah, no, I got you. I mean, and that's correct. But yeah, I couldn't find an actual planner. I mean, I have it somewhere there, but I don't want to take too much time trying to look through that spreadsheet. But I do use it just for like forecasting. I mean, that it's kind of like a wishful thinking. What's up, Willie? I didn't notice that you're on. What's up, Willie? So, proud of you, Darth. I'm tearing up. So he's probably freaking out about you with your hoarding of some of the blue ions.
Maybe because yeah, but I was wrong. Remember, I don't have nearly as many as you, and certainly not 130.
Yeah, but yeah. So what's interesting about that? So my kind of the point you're making. My original focus onto the city rosters that I was going into was going to be Dagger, Cloak, Scarlet Spider, Ghost Spider, and I was going to bring in Misty. But you kind of hit on it. I mean, the RNG gods showed me no love onto this particular piece, which I'm okay with. I mean, it's not that I 100% loved Misty Knight. My whole theory was that I wanted to save my skill on the global, like my skill gear for the Secret Avengers. But I got impatient. I was like, you know what, screw that. Shang-Chi was just kept staring at me. Kept saying like, I'm here, man. And I said, fuck it. I was like, you know what? I got to go with it because, first off, I prefer him. Truthfully, I prefer him over Misty Knight. I think he's a better character to have at G16, and I use him more. And it was just kind of a no-brainer. Like it was at a certain point, I was like, you know what? The way that they're releasing the tail gear methods, they're not allowing me to choose. And if this is what landed in my lap, then so be it. And I went in with it, and I have zero regrets because I mean he's kicking ass. So. And that's what I was gonna ask you. Where you at in the DD in the nodes? Are you still on the first node or where you at?
Second city node.
You're in the second one. Okay, I'm almost there.
Aren't I? Scroll down. I want to make sure. Or no. I'm in the same one you are. God, is that the first node or
Yeah.
the second city node? That's the second city
Oh
node.
my bad. That is second. Okay, I finished the first. I just jumped into second. See, I already forgot. I kind of went through it pretty fast, so that's why I kind of forgot.
Oh, you're doing better than I am.
Yeah, I think I only
That
had.
second node is the Infinity Watch members with Drax is kicking my butt right now.
Okay, that's probably where I'm at right now. Yeah. See, that's who I
Yeah,
have
you're on
lined
that.
up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That wave is a pain.
Okay. So so on the DD5 side, so I wanted to really kind of get everything ready for the global. You have to kind of plan ahead. I mean, you don't want to. You still have to kind of have an idea as far as who you're bringing in. So going back onto the roster planning side of it, that's what I started highlighting over here. I was like, you know what, these are characters that I'm going to start using. So I'm already looking ahead. Now that I'm in city, I'm looking at global, and these are the I think Kestro is the one that I'm looking at for the cosmic, but the global, I'm almost ready. How are you looking at for the global?
Pick some weird characters. I got Wolverine and Lady Deathstrike ready to go. Because I had, for some reason, like I said, it's all about RNG based.
Yeah.
The gods gave me a lot of mutant teal gear, so I took. I'm trying to think exactly. I'm looking it up right now. Oh, I put Sharon Carter there too because I
Yeah.
did get enough of that, and I got a 7 red Sharon Carter, so it made her massive, and
That's
she
better.
hits like a truck, and I'm ready for her to go.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I've got Sharon Carter, Wolverine, and Lady Deathstrike are the 3 global characters that I have,
Okay. So I
and
have.
I want to get Sabretooth and Captain Sam would be the other 2 if I was to be able to pick them, or Captain Sam and Doom. But it's with the way RNG works, it doesn't look like Doom's going to be one of the options.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was lucky enough. I got Doom. I got Doom ready. I got Lady Deathstrike, Silver Sam, and Captain Sam. So I got my
You're
four.
there.
Yeah, and I'm actually there. I mean, technically, the fifth one, could be this girl over here pretty soon. But I'm on the cuff. Like I'm on this dilemma. It's like, okay, which one do you want between Sharon Carter and Maria Hill? And personally, I want Sharon Carter. But there it is again, where I'm dependent on this piece. And so, and then when you look at it, Legendary's kind of right there. But I don't know if I want to use Stock Hawk. But so that's kind of where I'm a little slight dilemma there. But it's not too big. I mean, I think within the timing of where I'm at on the city runs, hopefully some tail gear with new events and so forth starts leaking out, and I'll have a fifth ready pretty soon. And then when we jump to the next section, which is going to be the cosmic, I know you got some interesting guys that the Ravenger bros, right?
Oh yeah.
So
T'Challa and Stitcher, and that's the only 2 cosmic characters I have. And I don't know that I'm going to take Icarus and Cersei because of the Mystic Gear crunch. We'll see how Mystic Gear comes over me over the next 2 months while I wait to get into that section. But Kestrel looks like a good choice.
yeah,
That's the one nice thing about Cosmic. There are a lot of really good choices out there for you to grab.
yeah,
So,
it just depends on the pieces, right?
like,
That land on your lap.
yeah, right, right. Exactly. It just depends on who lands, who you could possibly take in.
Yeah, because I think when you get that first run rewards, and then I believe more than likely the way the currency or the resources come out on your lap, and then you can kind of pick more and choose as far as who and to bring in on the second run. But yeah, I'm gonna do look. So to my hearts, these are the 5 that I'm planning on bringing in. And to me, all the decisions all about that unique over here. Like, do you have it or not? And as you saw across the board, I have them ready. I can't remember. I'm gonna look at this. If they share the same one between Icarus and Circe, I don't think they do.
No, what is Uru and what is Astral Energy?
Okay, yeah, so I'm good. So I'm gonna definitely, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna push and try to see if I can get that Mystic. And but yeah, Phyla is ready to go. So I'm gonna bring her in as part of the bio gear. And then this dude, he's pretty inexpensive to jump in, so
It's
definitely
cheap.
gonna do that. And then the last one's on the
So,
legendary. Oh, I'm sorry, you have a question?
oh, I was just gonna say Willie. Yeah, I was gonna take Sabretooth because he's cheap and because he's on Weapon X, and Weapon X is a good team for multiple modes.
Yep, absolutely. So we got the legendary. It's the last section of that DD5 planning. Have you kind of peaked a little bit as far as who do you want?
Yeah, but I mean, just like everything else, I want to take Omega Red. I want to take Jubilee. I'd like to take Doc Ock. I'd like to
I'm
take
gonna hit
Morgan.
this already. But bam.
That makes me want to go do it right now.
I have to.
Jealousy right here. All the
So
jealousy. It's
I
taking everything in my power to not grab my phone and do that right now. Nice, very nice.
I did that. Well, who's so the legendary you're looking at? Well, obviously that guy.
Yeah. So, but if I could take anybody I wanted, I would take Omega Red, Adam Warlock, Jubilee, Doc Ock, and Morgan Le Fay. Like
Okay.
that would be my dream five if I could. But most likely, Adam Warlock's not going to get to go.
Yeah.
So it's
So
probably going to be somebody like Black Bolt or Invisible Woman, and each have their merits. So that'll be a decision I make when it comes down to it. And who knows? Maybe by the time I get to Legendary, another Horseman will be out.
yeah. So I was we'll wrap up this one if because you notice they're all mystic, right? Between her and then also with Adam Warlock. Who would you choose Adam Warlock over her, or would you choose Morgan Le Fay over Adam
So I would
Warlock?
choose Morgan Le Fay,
Yeah, that's cool.
literally just because Morgan Le Fay is brand new and Adam Warlock is 9 months old.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, that's all we got going on in regards to this here. So, looking over and just kind of wrapping up, we're going to talk about the future. So, part of the future, we were talking about our DD5 planning and what we're doing there. But if I hop over into the blog post, let's just kind of quickly touch upon the news that's going on here. Again, nothing too exciting, but it is talking about the gear updates. I mean, the real key takeaways that I have off of the blog post is that there's going to be more orange gear currency. There's going to be more ISO 8 currency. And to the bigger one that I know that you're excited about is this right here, the Avengers Tower returns.
Absolutely.
And with that, how would you go about it? I mean, are you going to be pretty aggressive on it, or what's your take as far as like how
I
much
went
time
to.
investment do you think you're going to put in that one?
Well, the thing is the time investment gets less and less actually as you get higher up, as long as you're not resetting. So it'll feel like a lot of investment on probably day 2 and day 3, but after that it won't be very much. So maybe 3 hours throughout the week I'll play it.
Okay.
But I'm not looking to get top 100. I'm not looking for anything like that. I want top 1%, which was some pretty good teal raid orbs last time, I think.
Okay. And the question I have is the strategy then. Like once you kind of climb up that ladder, you pass over that 50 mark, are you pushing to get as high as you want, or do you do the drop down method and try to earn points? Like what's your, I guess,
My strategy is to push as high as I can go because level 72 is worth what level 60, 61, 62, and 63 is worth.
okay.
And eventually, I mean, for me, it comes down to a point where I have 2 or 3 teams that might be able to beat it on the last couple days.
Okay. All right. Sorry, there's my dogs fighting now. And then so we got that coming through. So that's jumping out, I believe, on Thursday. So stay tuned for that, which also coming out on Thursday. This is a big one. It's going to be the Wong Blitz event. So I'm going to jump over here. So this is where you're going to be able to get your chance of getting some Wong character shards. But without kind of skipping, what you don't see on this blog post is on Tuesday, the Strange event comes out, right? So that's when I guess it's over here more on the gameplay side. So start looking into
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be the campaign event over for him. I don't even know if they do have the preview here. So this is where you start getting your Heartless charged for Strange. And I'm trying to think. I don't think that's about it in regards to what's coming around the horizon on the future. So hopefully you guys, it's going to be interesting. I'm kind of curious to see what this whole heroic mode is going to be about. Just kind of see if it kind of slows down, or if I had to kind of pause a little bit as far as not autoing it all the way through. So we'll see how much of a difference that becomes. So we'll definitely kind of recap that next Sunday when we join here on the show to kind of see what our experiences are. But I think that's about it. Yeah, man. So I'll go ahead and kind of wrap it up on today's show for Damage Control. Appreciate you guys all watching in and tuning in. And with that, I have to just kind of close it out with our new intro because I know, Willie, if you're still on, you can let us know if you like it. But to then, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's week.
How old Willie is and how Americanized he is.